as I said with the characters and their growth, like Marvin has tremendously grown on me since the first season. During the first season, him and his foolishness, I just found him incredibly annoying. Like I was with RAQ on that, with him just messing everything up and whatnot, but over the course of the second season, he's really grown as a character. And it's like you see him here, at the end of last season when instead of trying to just automatically just kill Sam, you saw where he made the effort to try to get Sam out of town, and only killed him as a last resort. We see here where, he's functioning as, what do you call it? Like a sponsor or like a support person for this guy that he went to, the anger management, that he met in the anger management class. We see him like repairing his relationship with Jukebox. And even in one of the earlier episodes, was it last episode? I think it was, where, he went to the memorial service for, Jukebox's mom, never mind the history between them. So it's like, I'm really enjoying the growth of Marvin as a character, where he's not just the bumbling street guy that we met in the first season. He's shown like a lot of growth as a character between then and now. And it's going to be interesting to see where he goes from here. Here we go where Lou and Marvin have basically switched places, with Lou just constantly messing up, man. Constantly messing up. Goes out, gets drunk the night before Jukebox's audition, gets into a fight, and ends up getting put in like the drunk tank to cool out. Misses Jukebox's audition. They put all of this time and effort into putting this track together, getting this song and whatnot arranged for her to perform at the audition, for him to then blow it, right? Not coming through for her. And it's just like, I get it that Lou is like going through things, but he's been just dropping the ball, man. Especially when it comes to Jukebox. It's like, fine, fair enough with RAQ. But with Jukebox, man, I feel like he could do so much better. And it's actually like really disappointing. But one of the benefits of the time he spent in the bar was that, he so happened to hear a song being played that his father performed on. And so with him going into the bar and asking the bartender about the record, who I'm assuming is probably the owner of the bar, it turns out that she knew his father. And so with that, we get like a little bit more insight into the dad. But something telling is that the lady apologized to Lou, or offered her sympathy to Lou, condolences to Lou for what happened to his father. And, Lou's response is, well, he did it to himself. But it's like this thing where it keeps getting alluded to that something happened to their father, right? Like we met their mother in the first season. But now you get the idea that the father is probably dead, right? And if you think about it, it kind of points to like RAQ's relationship with her dad. In that, if you remember in the first season when she came home after finding out about Kanan putting all these drugs out on the street that were killing like the addicts, and she called him by his full name. She called him Kanan Elijah Stark. So Kanan probably came from the Bible, most likely from her mom, or a name that she took from the Bible, but that Elijah is actually her father's name. And so it's like these little breadcrumbs that are being dropped along the way. If you think back to the first episode of the second season, when RAQ went down to Virginia to pick Kanan up from her cousin's house, the cousin as well alluded to some kind of situation that happened with RAQ and the Thomas boys' dad. But the conversation got cut off because Kanan came into the room. And so it points back to this thing that Jukebox made mention of the family having a lot of secrets, some of which she knows about. And so it's like they're dropping like little breadcrumbs along the way about the dad, right? There's unanswered questions about, or suspicions, I would think, about High Post's death. There's also some questions about how it was that Marvin ended up going to jail, right? Because according to Marvin, he was set up. And so it's going to be interesting to see if they ever fully address these things, or if they just continue to allude to them. We found out, I think it was the last episode, that DEFCON, like, he's not somewhere sitting in jail. Like, DEFCON, no, it was the first episode that DEFCON isn't somewhere sitting in jail. He's dead. How did that come about? So it's like all of these things from the past that they've alluded to. It's going to be interesting to see if they ever address them fully, like tell the full story of what happened all those years in the past. And then also to know what the story is, right? Because you get the sense that you're missing quite a bit from the Thomas's origin story, RAQ's in particular, right? We haven't seen the mom since the end of the first season, and she seemed like a problem, and that's like really the only person that really seemed to kind of like rattle RAQ in that sense. And so it'll be interesting to learn more about like the family history and the family dynamic.
Thanks for tuning in. To ensure you don't miss any episodes, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and check out my movie review playlist. Go ahead and click the thumbs up button if you like what you saw, and go ahead and share it on social media.